Hello, my name is LoG and welcome to part 4 of my pick and fingers power up. Let's get started. Okay, again, just to recap everything we've done so far. Part 1 was walking up the G chords. Part 2, walking up these little setup chords. Part 3 was changing the technique. Just walking down all the chords in the key of D, or excuse me, the key of G from C to C. Now, this last part, we're going to be doing really simple harmony. Let's talk about that first. We're just going to be playing C, C again, E minor, D, C, C again, and then D suspended 4, and then D major. All the chords are the same structure, 1, 5, 3 every single time. When I go to E minor, it's a flat 3, so I'm using my middle finger instead of the pinky like I was doing here, but it's still the same structure of chords, 1, 5, 3, 1, 5, flat 3, 1, 5, 3, etc. Now, when I hit that D suspended, if you're not familiar with what suspended is, it's really simple. A suspended chord gets rid of the third and plays something else, and the something else is usually the notes right next to 3, so either 2 or 4. That's why you'll see suspended 2 or suspended 4 very, very popular. So suspended 4 is really nice because the 4 is 1 fret up from the 3, so it's really easy to grab on guitar. So if we're playing normal D major, 1, 5, 3, D, A, F sharp, that's the F sharp. If I move that up 1 fret, see my pinky? Just moving up 1 fret, that is now sus 4 because it's 1, 5, 4, D, A, G, right? That's the sound of a suspended 4. And then the classic use of a suspended 4 is to bring it back to the normal chord. Like that's been done for hundreds of years, and that's the idea. So again, C twice, C again, E minor, D normal, C, C again, D suspended 4, then C, or excuse me, then D normal, major. That's it. So what's going on with the pattern here is the same exact pattern as we just did in part 3, where we were working up with the normal pick, finger, like that, but then coming down with this economy picking thing. Downstroke and then 1 upstroke handling the 5th and then root of the chord. So downstroke, skipping the G string, right? It's the same exact thing as we're doing here, except we're doing both patterns, the up and down, on 1 chord. So C going up, coming down. So you'll notice that top note is being doubled, and that's what it should sound like. That's what it should be. Now play that better. Like that. So we're doing both patterns once on every chord. So C, C again, E minor, D, C. 1 on the D sus, 1 on the normal D. And you definitely want to hear that top note for that one. That's kind of the melody of that. You want that to happen. So just practice that kind of stuff. The pattern's exactly the same as what we just did in part 3. So you just have to make sure you're doing it on the single chords. Just like we did before, you know, you can play the chords single like this. Nothing wrong with that. You can hold them. You know, holding all the notes so they bleed together, or you can play them single like I'm doing it in the videos. I think that sounds cool, so that's what I'm doing. But you can do whichever one you want. The last little thing before we finish, we have to get back to the very beginning, and the very beginning is back to this G stuff. So the way we're going to do that, we're coming from the D sus, then the normal D. Now, after this D right there, we need to be here. So that is kind of a pretty hard jump to make, especially to do it cleanly. So instead of doing F sharp, A, D, G, and having to jump with my pointer finger, I'm actually playing F sharp, A, open D string, and then playing there. So that's always a trick you want to think about. If you have an open string available, see if you can use that open string, because that allows your left hand to not do anything. It can use the time that the open string is being played to move back to the G. So the way I'm doing that is playing the F sharp on top, the A string, and then pulling off to the open D string, and then finally back to the G so we can repeat. So sometimes, you know, you might play that pulled off open D string, and you might get the open G string with it as well. I kind of like it. I like how it sounds personally, so I wouldn't consider that to be a mistake. It's just kind of a cool little sound. So that's going to happen quite a bit. So again, like that, back to the beginning. Again. If I do it slower, let me do a little better. One more time. There we go. And we're back to the beginning. So the pull-off can be a little tricky. But you definitely want to see if you can sneak it in there to kind of connect both parts. So that's pretty much it. That's this whole power up. The final track is going to move from 80 to 170. So we're going to get at 170, it's going to flow pretty well and it'll be pretty fun to play. Hopefully, I think it's fun at least. But yeah, once again, just to recap everything in this part, we're doing C, going up with pick, finger, finger, coming down with the economy thing. That was downstroke B string, one upstroke to handle the D and A. So we're doubling the top note and the bottom note actually. Right there. Then the E minor, D, C, twice, D sus, normal D with that pulled off open D string, which gives us time to get back to the very beginning. So that's pretty much it. You can play all the chords static like that. You can play them held together like that, or notes individually. You know, if you want to, of course, kind of like I mentioned in previous power-ups, if you want to just have dead notes here and just try to get the pattern going to make sure you can, you know, make sure it's really consistent rhythmically, of course, go ahead and do that. There's a variety of ways you can practice this, but just make sure you're getting everything down and everything really smooth. So anyway, hope that stuff makes sense. I will see you in the final video where we will run the entire thing along with the track. All right, that does it for part 4 of this Pick and Fingers power-up. If you enjoyed this type of instructional material, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below, and I will see you guys in the final part.